friends, we're here today for another video in the series 30 Reviews in 30 Days. During the course of September, it is my goal to review 30 books here on my YouTube channel. And I'm hoping to read a lot of those books in September, but I will be reviewing books that I have read earlier. Like I have some outstanding reviews that I wanted to post. Books that we read for the Run Right Reads book club where I needed to do reviews and hadn't gotten around to them. But also, I'll probably be reviewing a few books that I have read just recently that I wanted to do single book reviews for. One of those is The Mermaid of Black Conch by Monique Roffey. This was sent to me, a free copy was sent to me by Vintage Publishers in the United Kingdom. They reached out to me on Instagram and asked me if I wanted a copy of this book. And I was like, yes, because when this book was first published by People Tree Press, I didn't order it because, I had to order a book from the United Kingdom. I didn't want to pay that international shipping for just one book. I was hoping to make a bigger order. I don't know. I just didn't get around to ordering a copy. And then Vintage reprinted this book with a beautiful cover, and I was just so excited that they reached out to me. And so I got the book. I said I wanted to read it, so I did. I read this in August, and I just wanted to share with you my thoughts on it. I love this book. Let's just start there. I love this book. My getting a complimentary copy doesn't bias my opinion. I honestly just genuinely really enjoy this book, and I hope that from my review here today that you will want to pick up this book as well. The Mermaid of Black Conch. Black Conch is a fictional island in the Caribbean. The author Monique Roffey is from Trinidad and Tobago, but she chose to make this a fictional place. So the island of Black Conch, like I said, is in the Caribbean, and we meet this mermaid. So let me start by saying that this is a little bit of a fantasy where you know that mermaids don't exist, right? They are fantasy. They're fantasy creatures, half woman, half fish. And there have been legends about the mermaid for years, for decades, probably for as long as people have been going out to the sea. There have been legends about what sea creatures exist. And the legend of the mermaid is that there would be this woman, half fish, and she would come out of the water and she would lure the sailors to their death just by her beauty and her singing, her voice. And Monique Roffey makes a spin on this, that we have this male fisherman who goes out in his boat, and he's just kind of using the opportunity to be alone on the water as his meditation time. So he goes out with his guitar, I think it's his guitar, and he plays music. And while he is there, the mermaid appears, and she is enchanted by his music, which I think is really interesting. The story is told in alternating perspectives. We're reading from the perspective of this fisherman, David. We do get a perspective from the mermaid herself, and then there are other voices that appear. There's a woman, a white woman, who lives in the community in the fishing village, and her background, she is from the colonial people. So she owns a lot of the community in terms of the land and the property, and also just because of her influence, she has a lot of the power in the village. But the story is not about her. The story is about David, the fisherman, and this mermaid. And the mermaid has a name, but I'm not really sure how to pronounce her name. Aycaya. It's Aycaya. And the story of the mermaid, I didn't tell you, right? So the mermaid is a young woman. She was a young woman who lived during the time before the explorers. So she is a relic from these indigenous people that lived in the Caribbean islands before the explorers, before the world for them changed. So as a young woman, she was extremely beautiful and just very appealing. So the men from her village, the men from her country, were very attracted to her, to the chagrin of their women, their wives. So a group of women took their jealousy to the next level. They had the goddess curse her and curse her with spending, I don't know, eternity in the sea as a mermaid. So she still has some of her human characteristics. She is half woman, but her sex has been sealed up inside this fish tail. And so she is consigned to spend her time in the water away from human interaction. And while that is a curse, while that could be a curse, we also read about some of the benefits, because the fact is that even after these people who cursed this mermaid, the people who cursed this woman and turned her into a mermaid, even after they have long disappeared from the world, she is still around, because centuries later she is still swimming in these waters. And so I love that Monique Roffey explores this idea that what starts off as a curse could also be a blessing, almost. Like, she explores the positive and the negative impacts of this curse. And so she explores curses in lots of different ways. When I think curse, I think about the biblical curse, the biblical idea that the sins of the father, or the sins of the fathers, are visited onto the sons for the third and fourth generation. And we know that our actions, our decisions can impact those who come after us in lots of different ways. And so we do get a comparison here of the white woman whose son is born deaf. And not that deafness is a curse, not that deafness is entirely negative, because there are people who have maybe what you call disabilities or different abilities. They are definitely people who have lots of gifts, and their way, their perspective, their way of doing things can be such a refreshing difference. So we explore that in this book. This deaf son, he's the one who's able to communicate with the mermaid. There are lots of curses that are explored in the book. Positive and negative impacts is what I'm saying. Positive and negative expressions of that curse. So, you know, like I said, the mermaid, she's able to live outside of the natural lifespan because of this curse. But she does have to live separate from the people that she knew when she was fully woman. The idea, of course, that this book is part fantasy, but it's not treated as fantasy. We see the people in the community talk about the legend and talk about the mermaid, but they interact with the mermaid as a real person. After they get over the shock that she is a mermaid, they interact with her as a real person, because she does shed some of those mermaid characteristics and evolve into a woman. And part of the book she spends on the island of Black Conch as opposed to being in the water. And we explore the relationship that she's able to build with David, with the white woman and her family, and other people in the community, and what the backlash of that is. I don't want to give you too much of the story. Everything that I have said thus far is in the synopsis on the back. There are some literary references in this book that are just beautiful, the way Monique Roffey took some of those elements from other popular stories and put them in this book. The scene where Akeya is caught is definitely reminiscent of the scenes of Santiago hooking the big fish in Hemingway's Old Man and the Sea. She's caught by this older fisherman who needs this catch, needs this win to prove something to himself and the other people in his life. And so we do get a little bit of that eerie reminiscence. There is the discussion of language and the ability to communicate, and how differently abled people communicate with each other, and whether we look at our abilities as better or superior in one way or another. I guess that has been explored in so many books that I don't even know which one to call. The discussion of colonialism and the legacy of the colonizers, and how that has impacted the Caribbean people and the indigenous people and that ancient world. I guess that's been discussed in lots of other books as well. So you definitely look for those themes when you pick up this book, is what I'm saying. So many beautiful things happen in this book. It is completely deserving of the Costa Book of the Year award that it got last year. I highly recommend that you check out this one. The Mermaid of Black Conch by Monique Roffey. This is a Caribbean author, book set in a fictional place. I love that she incorporated some of the lessons that we should have learned from these indigenous people. And she has this young woman, Ikea, sharing some of the lessons of our forefathers, our ancestors, if we choose to see them that way. And it's just beautiful. So The Mermaid of Black Conch is the book for today. I hope you enjoyed this review. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see more. Let's chat in the comments. I also have a Patreon. If you'd like to support this channel, you can check out my link down below. But feel free to share these videos with other people if you think other people that you know would enjoy hearing me discuss these books. Would love to chat with you, and would love to chat with them as well in the comments down below. So until next time, until tomorrow when we come back for another review in the 30 Reviews in 30 Days series, happy reading. Bye.